I wanted to jump on and talk to you guys about the 5 journals again. I did a YouTube a while back, so I thought I would do another one to just kind of bump it to the top of the YouTube, you know what I mean? So where you go on, you don't have to keep searching for it left and right. So I want to talk to you about the 5 journals. I have way more than 5 journals, and we'll talk about others. I've got to get you started into the 5 journals first. So first and foremost, you have your gratitude journal, okay? Your gratitude journal is 10 minutes. Listen, the journaling is only going to be as effective as you are honest and consistent. Without honesty, without consistency, it's just action. That's it. There's nothing happening there. So the more honest that you are and the more consistent daily practice. You know, you don't get to say you want to feel better and you want the tools, but then when you get the tools, you don't like the tools because it might take some work. It is what it is. So yes, there's 5 journals that I recommend every day. There are more that I carry. They're all around my house. I even like to carry a set of 5 in my car, because sometimes, well, not so much 5. I would have a gratitude in there, a positive and a negative in there. Those are typically what I have in the car. And then the data dump journal is by your bed, and the mood journal is just kind of like as needed if I have a change up. So let's talk about it. And if you're wondering why I have these, let me talk to you about these so I can put these away. With every journal, I have a different color pen. You do not have to do this. This just helps me because I like to dedicate certain colors of pens to certain journals. It's just my jam. It's what works for me. You don't have to do that. Just showing you. I just wanted to show you that. So because I want to show you how I do it in my practice. So 10 minutes a day, and not a day. I did like 20 today because I woke up, I just felt a little like irritable. It just happens. I was like, you know what? 10 minutes of gratitude just wasn't enough. So you have to, sometimes you'll do it 2 or 3 times depending as needed, but you want to set your timer on your phone. Pen to pad. It's a pen that goes with this. Pen to pad, right? And this is where you're going to do gratitude. Stop thinking gratitude is just about, I am grateful for my family. I am grateful for my money. I am grateful for my health. All beautiful things, for sure, write it down. But what about the things that you take for granted that you just assume is going to happen? I am thankful, like, okay, I'm trying to think what I put on today, but I'm not even going to worry about that. I'm going to look out the window right now and the leaves are blowing. I am grateful to see how pretty the sun is hitting the leaves and how the leaves are dancing in the wind. I am grateful for that. I might be grateful for, I got some, I did some stuff for Christmas shopping for friends and stuff. I got that in today. I am grateful that I have that. I am grateful that I'm sitting here talking to you guys about journaling and the 5 journals because I know it's really, really good for you and you can really start to hit some of those milestones that you're looking to hit. So I'm grateful for that. So stop thinking that gratitude has to be like always just the things that you have. What about the things that just exist? It's going to be very helpful for you. And this journal you always want to keep. So when you're having like a bad day or a crap day, it's perfectly fine. You can go back to your gratitude journal to see things really aren't that bad. That's your gratitude journal. Now, the next 2 journals, they go hand in hand. Positive and, this is something else. Positive and negative journal. They go sort of hand in hand, okay? The pens are over there for these, but I'm going to use this pen for right now. Pretend like it goes there. Positive and negative. I like to, when I'm doing these, I like to do these more in the evening, but sometimes I actually have this set. This is why I'm sitting here at my desk. This set is for my desk. I probably have, and I'm not even lying, I probably have like 5, 10, 15, probably like 25 journals just handy. So I like to carry some in the car. I like to have some on my desk. I like to have them by my bed. It's just convenient for me because I know me. So you have to know yourself. I know if I'm like, I want to do my negative journal, but it's downstairs. I don't feel like getting out of bed. Now I'm going to make excuses. So you don't have to have 25, 30 journals. I know me, know yourself, right? So when I go traveling, they come with me, So your positive journal is not the same as your gratitude journal. Your positive journal, I'm going to crush my goals, baby. Your positive journal represents your actions. So let's say you did your gratitude journal today. You sat and did meditation. You had your coffee. You did a load of laundry. That's in your positive journal. So think of gratitude journal as things of just existing and positivity journal as action items. You may not write in this every day. That's okay. You may not. You may be like, wow, today was just like one of those off days. But for the most part, there's always something that you're doing that you can put in here. Doesn't have to be a complete sentence. It doesn't have to be structured. Blah, blah, blah. It's just a stream of consciousness. Your negative journal, however, you will fill up about 600 of those before you will even a quarter of this. And that's because this is where I call this your negative journal, but I also call it your validating journal. This is your validating journal. And this is validating you. This is all about your feelings. Thoughts and feelings are not facts, but they are your perceptions and they are real to you. So this is where you want to validate it, how you feel. Don't be politically correct in here. Don't be politically correct. If you want to say, I hate somebody, then say it. You're not wishing ill will on anyone. This is your process journal. Stop trying to process it up here and stop waiting for other people to process it. This is your negative journal. This will become your best friend on top of your gratitude journal, right? So those are these two journals. Your fourth journal, which mine's by my bed. I forgot because this is a separate journal for something else that I use, but we're going to pretend that this was my data dump journal, but I have it by my bed and I like to keep it by my bed, right? And the reason being is, you know how it I don't know, your brain can't remember 5 things throughout the day and you go to lay down and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, let's think of all the things that we forgot in our entire life right now, right? So when that craziness, and I say craziness because that's what it is, it's like a bunch of crazy little spirals start going off in your head, you're going to need a space to dump them. This is where it's going to take your self-discipline, okay? As long as you are allowing yourself, I don't care how tired you are, I don't care, don't be lazy with this. You got to sit up and get out of bed. You heard me. If you're thinking and you haven't fallen asleep after 20 minutes and your brain is constantly racing, get up and write what you're thinking about here. I don't care how dumb it is, because sometimes at nighttime you could be laying there and next thing you know, you're like, why do camels have 2 humps? I wonder how they retain that water. You start thinking about weird things that make no sense at 2 o'clock in the morning. Write it down here. Get out of bed. Do not turn on your screens. Do not get on TikTok. Do not get on YouTube. Don't get on anything. Don't watch television. Read or do your data dump journal or do a puzzle or crochet. Do something if you can't sleep after 20 minutes. But that's what your data dump journal is. It really helps you dump all that data. Now your 5th journal, so I like to have that by the bed. And you may not use it every night, but if you're like me and you have a racing mind, you'll go through 100 of those. And I'll tell you what to do with them in a minute. And then you have your mood journal. I have my mood journal. And in my mood journal, I like to write it down there. When you start to see yourself start to spiral or you're feeling irritable, don't try to analyze it here and don't look to blame other people. They're not responsible for your feelings. But process it in your mood journal. And describe it. Don't be like, I am angry or I am sad. What does that mean? Right? Be descriptive. Yes, you can do that in your negative journal, but it's nice you can do it both, but I like to have it so you can monitor your moods. A lot of times, especially if you're on a cycle, if you're in a bipolar cycle, it's really good to have for your doctor too, because you can be like, hey, for 3 weeks or 2 weeks or however long it was, this is what was happening in my mood journal. So it's also really good for medical purposes, right? So those are going to be the 5 that I represent. I represent those 5 that I recommend. Now, with your gratitude journal, your positivity journal, keep them. Absolutely keep them. They're great to reference when you're feeling low and not good enough. Your negative journal and often your data dump journal, not so much your mood journal because you may need to access that when you're talking about to your medical doctor, but the negative journal and the data dump journal on the full moon or new moon, when that is full. I mean, it's full. It's all, you burn it. And the reason being is the universe transmutates negative energy into positive energy. So that's why the 5 journals, and I told you I literally have 5, 10, 15. I have my travel set, which is 20. So I have 25, 6, 7, 8. I might have 28 journals. They're all over the place, right? For different things that I use and everybody knows it. So you don't have to be that way. If you're okay with knowing to carrying them around with you, great. I just know me, and I know if I'm upstairs in bed and I want a data dump and my journal's down here, I know for a fact I'm not going to do it. So I want to make it easier for me, right? It doesn't have to be expensive, just something of your own. So yeah, I hope that helps. Let me know how well you're doing on your journal. You must be consistent. Your gratitude journal every day, 10 minutes a day. Preferably in the morning, if not longer. Set your timer every single day. Positive and negative journal, kind of the same thing. More so the negative journal, you might not always do something in the positive. Data dump is needed, mood is needed. So I hope that helps. I love you guys. If you want to go, I'm going to talk more about energy work and balance and manifestations. We'll get to all of that here and on the podcast. So I love you guys. I hope that really helped you. Go journal.